Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today. And yeah, so in past 2 days, I have talked about Firebase and what are the Firebase services that you can use for the web platform. And then I have talked about Firebase hosting, how we can deploy our website or web pages over the Firebase. And yesterday, I have talked about Firebase authentication, specifically how we can perform Firebase authentication with the help of Google account. So now, today I will talk about Firebase authentication with email and password. Like we have an email ID and we have a password. So we can authenticate the user, means we can create an account with the help of email and password. We can sign in the account with the help of email and password. We can update the account, like we can change the password. We can perform these kind of operations with the help of custom email and password authentication. So as you know, like Firebase authentications, which is a service will give you the freedom to authenticate the user in your web apps. So Firebase authentication work with n number of third party service provider like Facebook, Google, Twitter, GitHub, LinkedIn, and so many things. Even you can create your custom authentications, like you can sign up your user with the help of email and password. So here today, I'm going to talk about how we can create a user, like we can sign up the user with the help of email and password. So here are the steps. So first, you need to go to the Firebase console and then you need to create a new project, or you can use existing project. It's totally up to you. And then you have to go to the authentication section, and then you need to enable the method, which is email password authentication, and that's it. And the third, like you need to register a new web application inside a project dashboard, and then you have a like JavaScript SDK code configuration file or a JavaScript code snippets that you need to copy the code into the web page, and that's it. So I'll we will deep dive in these steps in upcoming in 5 minutes. So we have a functions, like as I told you in the yesterday video, like whenever we are implementing Google authentication, so we have two methods, like one we can use pop-up method, or second one is for the redirect. So similarly, we have a functions. So if we want a screen like where user can create a account, so we have a method create user with email and password. This is a method, and here in this function or a method, we just need to pass two things like email ID and password, and your account will be created. That's it. This is a simple method. And the second one, if the user is created their account in the web applications, so we can sign in with the help of sign in with email and password, this method. And again, it will take two parameter, email and password. So if the email ID and password is same in as per the sign up method, so we can go change the path for the UI or something. And the third, we can use on state change method. This method we use for checking the state whether the user is logged in or not. Like if the user is logged in, so we can see, like we can enable or visible, we can share the dashboard screen or dashboard UI. Or if the user is not logged in, so we can share the email screen, login screen, and these kind of things. And the last second, like fourth one, that you can use sign out method for user logout. That's it. And we have some more methods that you can use inside Firebase authentications. First, like auth.current user, it will give you the details of the current user, logged in user details, like you will get the email ID, profile picture, display name, these kind of things. And also you can update the email ID for the user. Like for example, I have registered with XYZ email ID. I can change the email ID, or I can update the password with the help of these method last two. So now I'll share my entire screen. So Okay, so yesterday we have created a web applications up with Google Auth. So this is a web applications. So here, yes, you can check this URL. I'll just share. Yeah, so this is a URL. I'll share in the live chat section. So yesterday we have implemented a functionality like login with Google. So when we click on the login with Google, there is a method pop up something pop, and then we need to authenticate the user. So user is authenticated, and here is the details, and this is a button for the logout. And we can also check the users details. So as of now, we have three users who have logged in with this current web app. So same thing we can implement. So we'll go to the Firebase. So this is a Firebase, and then we'll go to the Firebase console, and then we can create a new project. So let's suppose I want to create a new project like Fire, Auth, and email password. Okay, so this is my project name, and then I will click on the continue button. And right now we are not using Google Analytics part, so I'll just deselect this one and then click on create a new project. And the same thing, like we have a directory. This is a VS Code editor, and inside VS Code editor, I have a folder. So I just drag and drop this folder into my workspace. So this is my workspace. So I have already installed VS Firebase CLI, so we can create a new project or we can initialize the Firebase CLI. So I'll just, yeah. So first I'll check whether the like Firebase CLI is installed or not. So I'll just type Firebase and then press enter. Maybe it will take a minute due to network issue. Okay, so my project is ready. I'll click on the continue button, and this is my Firebase console for the project. Okay, so now as per the step, we'll go to the authentication, and then we'll go to the sign in method, or if you have to click on the get started button, and then there is a sign in methods. And inside sign in method, we have a method email password. We just need to enable this method. So this is a button for the email, and that's it. So this method is enabled, so we can work on it. And yeah, so maybe it will take some time. I'll just close. So I can check Firebase login with this command will give you the login details, like I have logged in with Firebase CLI with this XYZ account. So yeah, yeah. So I have already logged in with my Firebase CLI with this account. So I can proceed. So I'll clear this one, and first I will initialize this project. So I'll type Firebase init for initializing the project, and then it will ask you, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I am ready to proceed. And then we'll go for the hosting, because we have a web application, so we will deploy that web application into Firebase. So we'll use Firebase hosting, and then press enter. And then you can select the existing project, or you can create your own project. So I'll select the existing project. And then we have a project name is Firebase Auth, email, and password. So my project name is this one, and then I'll press enter. And then it will ask you to select the directory. So where I can add index file, HTML file, JavaScript file, and CSS file. So I'll type public as a like root directory where I can add the index HTML and hosted file. And then it will ask you for the single page application. So no, I'm not interested right now. And again, I'm not interested for the CI/CD part with GitHub Actions. So my Firebase CLI, like Firebase init, will give you the some configuration file. These is the some files. We have a firebase.json file, and then we inside public directory we have a file index.html and 404.html. So I can run this project in the local machine with the help of Firebase serve as a command. Okay, so this is a URL. So we need to copy this URL, or you can just visit the URL into the browser, localhost 5000. So this is a by default file, which is index.html inside the public directory. So we can remove this one, and here we can add by default a structure for the HTML. So we have body tag, HTML, and so many things. So here I will add like Firebase Auth, or here I will write email and password. Save and then reload this page. So it's working properly. So right now it's working from the local machine. So I can go to the terminal too in the plus symbol, and then I can deploy this website. So I have to type Firebase deploy. That's it for deployment. Yeah, and this is a hosted URL. You can check this URL in the browser. So it's a hosted web page is working properly, and this is from the local machine, and this one is for the hosted URL. Okay, so first setup is done, and right now we'll go for the like registering the applications. So we'll go to the project overview, this one, and then click on add application, and here I will select web, and then here I need to type, or I need to register a web application. So maybe you can add the nickname like Firebase or Fire or email password. And yeah, so right now I'm using the Firebase hosting. So I can select the Firebase hosting, this one by default, and then click on the register app. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so click on the next, and then press next, and next, and then continue. Okay, so then you'll need to go to the setting, project setting, this one, and in the general setting tab, just scroll down, and there is a section Firebase SDK code snippets, and go to the radio button of CDN, and this is a file. You just need to copy this file and paste it here. So maybe here you can paste before closing the body tag. So here you can paste it. So this is my Firebase SDK for the core Firebase library, and we have a configuration file for this project, and then we are initializing the Firebase application. So now we are working on Firebase authentication. So we have to load the auth library for the Firebase authentications. So now we'll go to the Firebase documentation. So when we click on the go to the documentation, this is a Firebase documentation for the web. Then click on the get started for the web. And then in the right side sidebar, we have a section available libraries. This one available, it's not working. Yeah, so available library. And then we have a section available Java Firebase JS SDK from the CDN. So we will copy this available library for the authentication. So this one, so I copy this path, and I will paste here after Firebase core SDK. So first we have a Firebase as a code SDK file, and then second we have a Firebase SDK file for the authentication, and that's it. So now I can work on the Firebase. So as I told you, like we have functions like create user with email and password. This method will takes a 2-parameter email and ID, email and password, and that's it. It will create your account on this web app. So what we'll do here, maybe we can create a variable in JavaScript with the help of let, and maybe here you can define an email ID. So maybe here I'm defining a email ID tag format at gmail.com. And maybe in the password sections here, you can define the password. Let's say my password is for the sign up 123456. And then We have a method create user with email and password. So first we are using Firebase, so we'll write Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentication, so we have to define authentication auth as a method. Inside auth, there is a method we have to call create user with email and password. So I'll type create user user with email, and this is very simple logic. That's it. So create user like camel case, U capital V, W capital E capital A and P. So here you have to pass two parameter, email and password. So I'll pass email and second one is password. So that's it. And then this method is a it will work like as a JavaScript promises. So if this part successfully executed, then we need to handle in then and catch block. So we can handle with the then and catch block, like maybe we can add alert section, and here you can add user logged like user account created. And then if there is an error, we can handle in catch blocks. So we can add catch. So here is a catch section, and here we can add a error console.log and then E, and that's it. Okay, so right now I'm working on bash 2, this one. So I'll delete this path. So I will reload this page and go to the inspect element, and yeah, so alert is showing like user account created. So we can check in the authentication tab, like in the authentication section, and then we have a account techferment@gmail.com, and this account is created, and that's it. So this is a simple step how we can create an account with email and password with our web applications. So we have a method email and password. That's it. So what we can do, we can create a UI which takes a username and password, and then we can create an account. So first I will delete this account here. I will delete this account. Yes. Okay. So now what we will do, we will create an input field for the email and password, and then we have a button for yeah, code is working. So we have to comment this code. Uh, yes. Okay. And then I need to delete this account again. Okay. So now we have a two field like email and password. So in the H1 section after, we will add an input field. Type is equal to, maybe here you can add email or email. And then we have a placeholder. You can add email, and you can define a ID. So you maybe here can define the ID is the email. And then second input field for the password. So here you can add password, type is equal to. Here you can define a placeholder. So here you can define a password. So we'll write placeholder. And then we can define an ID as a pass. And then we have a button for create account. So create account. And then here we can define an ID like sign up. That's it, BTN. Okay. So when we click on this button, we need to perform actions. So how we can perform actions? So in the line number Firebase initialize, we'll write document dot get element by ID. Here we can pass ID, that is a button. And then we need to perform an action. So we have to use add event listener, and which takes two parameter. First is actions name. So my actions name is click. Yeah, CLI click. And the second one is we need to perform functions. When I click on this button, so we need to perform some call some method. So my function name is create user, or maybe I can write sign up user. So this is my function name. We need to define this function. So we'll create a function, sign up user, and then we need to collect email and password from this input field. So what we will write, so here we will create a variable email and password. Here we'll write document dot get element by id, and the id of the input field is email, this one. I will copy and I will paste it here, and then I need to collect the value, so that's why I'll write dot value. Same for the password, so we'll write let pass is equal to, and same the logic, document dot get element by id, and id for this field is pass. I'll copy and I will paste it here, and then I will, yeah. So I'll just check whether the value is working or not. So I'll type email first variable and second console.log for the password, and I will comment this logic, or you can remove this logic. That's it. So we have a UI. This is a UI, and we here in the console section, this is empty. And here I will type an email ID and I will type my password. Maybe you can pass the password and then click on this button. So you'll get the email ID and the password. Now, as I told you, we have to call create a user. So we will write this logic. So I will cut this logic and I will paste it here. And that's it. Okay. Yeah. So I will reload this page. So I'll type email ID. So there is right now, there is no user. And I will create an account with my password. Maybe you can pass the password and you will get the error. The error is like password should be 6 character. So we have to add a character, like maybe I'll add a length of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then click on create account. So user has created, and then we can reload the page. So right now I have already created this authenticated user account. Now we can create a like logic for the sign in. So we have a logic for the sign up. So we'll copy like we can create a div apps like in the paint. I'll give it a demo like how we can do that. So we have a, we can create a two screen like in the single web page. So first one is for the sign up method, and like this one is for the sign up. Sign up. So here maybe you can change the font size to this one is for the sign up, and this second div is for the login. Okay, so here what I'll do, I will create a div element, and inside this div element I will close this here. This one is for the sign up, and again this is another div element, and here we will take a same value like this one, and we have to create a new button for the login. So here I will pass a id is equal to login btn, and that's it. Okay, so we have to perform same actions. So what I'll do, maybe I can change the IDs one, maybe one for understanding purpose. So we have to perform actions on this button. So we have to write this logic again with the different value. So we have IDs login button. So I'll just change the IDs login button and just need to call the function name is login user. So login user. Okay, so login user, we have to call this function. So we will create a function login user, and then we have to follow the same step, like we need to collect the value from email and password. So this is the email and password. So we have a value ID is 111. So this is 111. Okay, so now we have to log in. So first we are using Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentication. So we have auth. And then we have a method for sign in. So we have a method sign in with email and password. That's it. So I'll copy this method. I will change user like sign in. That's it. So I'll write sign in with email and password. Here I will pass the two value like email and password. One more thing, like I have created a documentation, so I will share this URL. So this is a repository. Here, maybe you can go to this URL, and like there is a section Firebase authentication with email and password. So Firebase authentication with email and password. So I have created a documentation for you. Like you can authenticate the user, sign up the user, new user. So we have to call this method. This is the process. For signing, you have to perform this one. And for checking the user data, like get the state of the user, so you can perform these operations. So again, this is a JavaScript promise. Here, this is a documentation. So again, this is a JavaScript promise. If this promise is successfully happen, then we need to handle with then and catch block. So you can use then or directly you can add the catch block. Maybe like if the email is not found, so you can print the value console.log, and here you can pass the value and that's it. So now, if the user is successfully logged in, so we need to collect the value from the user. So we can collect the value with the user. Uh, like there is a method in the slide, as I told you, on state change. So we need to perform the on state change method. So we have a function to check the state of the user, check state of user. So we have to perform this function. Like again, we have using Firebase. Inside we have auth, and then we have a method on auth state change. So I'll type dot on auth state change. So we have this value is on auth state change method, and this method will give you the user as a callback. And then if the user is exists, so we can print the data like user details. So this one is for the user details. And if there is no value, we don't do anything. So like if this logic is successfully happened, or we can call this map function by default here. Okay, so I'll reload this page, and it will give you the details automatically. Like I have already created my account, and when you created your account, so by default you will second time you will be logged in automatically. So this is the details, like same for the like Google authentication, you got like display name. So right now I haven't added a display name, and this is the email id. Email id is not verified because I can create account with any anonymous account. So we need to verify this account. So you can perform some other method for triggering the confirmation mail to check whether the user is legal or not. So we have a method like get current signed in user details, update the user details, set the user email address, send a user verification mail. So I have created my account, so I can call sends verification mail. So just we need to use this logic. So if I want to send a verification mail, so we just need to use this method. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this path, and I will create a new functions to send verification mail. This is a method, and here I will paste it. So same thing, like we are using let. Okay, so first there is a method firebase.auth.current state. Okay, like it will give you the current user details, and we have to send the verification mail. So we have to send the verification mail is sent. Verification mail is a method which is by default in Firebase. And this is again JavaScript promises. So here maybe you can add console.log and you can check send mail sent. Mail sent. Okay, so you can call this function maybe in the check state user, like if the user is verification button. So I'll write a one logic like this is a mail verified. So here maybe you can mention if user dot email verified, user dot email verified is equal to false. Like we have to call send the verification mail when the user is not verified. So when the user is not verified, we need to call this function. That's it. Okay, that's it. So I'll just reload this page and then mail sent. So I'll check my Gmail. So I'll just log in with my Gmail ID. And within a second, you will get email. This is an email. So verify your email for the project. So you can change this template. You can change this entire text. So like I can verify this mail. So just a minute. Wait for a minute. Yeah. Okay. So this is an email. We can verify this user with the help of this method. Verification one send email verification mail. So this is how we can verify the user. So user is verified. So when I reload this page, so there will be no user verified. Like user is verified. I think yeah, this value is true. So we have a login screen. Like this one is for the sign up and this one is for the sign in. So I'll just add a field like here we add sign up user, and then second one is for the login user. Here you can add login, and for the logout like you can log out the user. So maybe here in the outside the div section I can create a div for the user details. So this one, so I'll add a button and add ID. So ID is like maybe you can add logout button. So we have to perform the math like function, the same thing. So I'll copy and I will paste it here. And yeah, so this is a logout button and I will copy and paste it here. And then I need to perform a function. So I'll write logout user. That's it. So we have to define this method. So maybe here or here, anywhere, like maybe after this one, here you can define a functions, logout user, and then you can call a functions. So we have a Firebase, and then we are using authentications. And if you go to the documentation again, like we have documentation for the logout, so we can delete the user, we can send the reset mail, we can set the user password. So there is a section for what we're doing logout. So we have sign out method, maybe yeah, this one. So you can call sign out method. So sign out, and that's it. Again, this is a JavaScript promise. So we have to handle with then and catch block. So here you can add console.log. Here you can add the value user logged out. And that's it. And if there is any issues, you can print with then and catch block like console.log and then press C. So I'll reload this page. So we have a three sections like this one. So I'll add a text. Yeah. So here I will add login. Okay. And maybe here you can like in the this div section here you can print user information. So you can print user info. So like the same thing, we can print the user information after the user is logged in or not. So this is a JavaScript object user. So we have email ID and verification mail, and this is kind of things we can print. So once the user is checked and this else, what we can do, we can call a function like show user info. So this function is for printing the user info. I'll pass the user, and what I'll do, I will create a function for show user info, and which will collect as a user, and then we need to print this user details in this div section. So this is the ID. So what I'll do, I'll write document dot get element by ID. Here we can pass ID is equal to user info, and then we have to use inner HTML method, and then we can print the email ID. So here we can print the email ID. So this is a double quotes for the string concatenation plus symbol, and then here you can pass user dot, and then we have user dot email. Here you can print. I will save, and then I reload this page. So this is the details because I have already logged in. So when I click on not this one is for, I think, yeah, this one is for the logout. I will save and I will reload this page. So I have a three section. First one is for the sign up, second one is for the login, and third one is for the logout. So when I click on the logout, so user is logged out. So when I reload this page, so there will be no user. So I can log in. So I will type techferment @gmail.com and then my password 123456, and then click on login. So here you can get the details. Now, this is not a pretty much a good UI. So we can define the good UI. So we can define a CSS, like if the user is not logged in, so we have to show the login screen or sign up screen. If the user is logged in, so we have to show only this one part. So how we can perform? We have a three div section. So I'll go to the format documentation. So we have a first div. First div is for the sign up user. Second div is for the login, and third div is for the user information. So I'll create pass a ID. So ID is first one is for the sign up user screen, and second ID is for the login user screen. So login user screen, and the third one is for the user information screen. So I'll use the same ID. So I'll pass user information screen. Okay. So by default, in a general use case, like if there is no account, we have to show only two screens. First one is for the sign up and login. So this is the ID. So in the JavaScript file, like here, maybe you can write the logic here. So I'll write document dot get element by ID. Here we can pass ID for the sign up screen, and then we need to perform some styling. So we have style dot display, and then we have to show the display. So first we have to use block. Block means it will be visible. Okay. And the second, same for the login screen. We have to show the login screen once, like for the first time user. So this is the ID for the login user screen. So I will paste it here. And the third one is for the user information screen. So this is the user information screen. So I'll change, and by default, this screen should always be hidden, so that we have to perform this logic. Okay, so we have to play with this entire logic. So like what I'll do, so like if we got the user, so we are printing user details. So if we have a user here, what you can do, you can hide uh, okay, so you can hide this one login logout screen. So for hiding this one, so we'll write none and none, and we have to display. So we'll write block, and that's it. For the logout, if the user is will logged out, so we have to perform the same operations. So we'll write logout. There is a method for the logout. Yeah. So this is a logout method. Here we'll paste it here. Same. So if the user is logged out, so we have to display the login screen and sign up screen. I'll copy same and paste it here, and I will hide the user information screen, and that's it. So I will reload this page. So I have already logged in, so it will be redirect to like all the screen will be hide, and this is visible. When I click on logout, so we have a two sections. So right now, what I'll do, like I will follow the again things, like I will delete this account, and then I will reload this page, and my entire logic is working, so I can deploy this solution. So I'll click on the second terminal and just deploy this solution. So I'll type Firebase deploy. Okay, so is there any questions as of now? I think this is little bit confusing, but you can follow this documentation, this one. Okay, so this logic is working. So website is deployed. So you'll just go to the website. This is the website. I'll reload this page. So we have a two sections like sign up user and for the login screen. So second, like again, I will sign up with my email ID. So my email ID is 123456 as a password, and then click on create account. When you click on the create account, user account is created, and within a second, you will redirect to the user account details. So you can check it in this part. And meanwhile, I'm also calling a function for the account verifications. So you will get a mail, uh, maybe in the second time we will get the mail. So I'll reload this page, and then you will, yeah, but this account is already verified. I think, yeah, I already verified this account, Gmail ID with this Google ecosystem. So that's why it's not triggering, because I'm already logged in, verified account. So you can check with different email ID. So maybe you can use different email ID. So here you can use richard2396 at gmail.com, and then password is 123456, and then click on create account, and account is created, and this is our ID. And then we'll reload this page. So account is created, and maybe here maybe you will get the, yeah. So this is the email. So this is a like verification mail. So follow this step for verifying the email. So I'll click on this button for the verification. So email is verified. That's it. Okay, so email is verified and it's working properly. So this is how we can implement the sign up, like custom sign in with Firebase. Also, you can perform this method for updating the email ID, or you can perform this operation for the like password, new password. Like if you want to change the details for this one. So as of now, do you have any questions? I can share this web app with you. Yeah, so this is the web app details. And this is a documentation again, we have a sections for like creating a new user. Just you need to call this method create user with email and password, and which we have to pass two parameter email and password. For the login, the same, we have to perform sign in with email and password this method, and we have to pass two function like as a parameter email and password. That's it. And third, to check whether the user is logged in or not, so we have to call this method on auth state change method, which is it will return a callback, and you just need to check whether the user is visible, so we can print the user. And for logout, you just need to call sign out method. And to get the current sign in user details, you just need to call this one like firebase.auth, and then you just need to call this one get current user details, so you can print the details. And same for the update user details, like maybe you can update the profile, like you can update the display name, photo url, like same like in the previous yesterday we got a like display name from the google profile and photo url. This is a by default key value in the user, so we can update the profile. And the third, like you can change the email address, so you can update the email address with the help of Firebase authentication, and then you can trigger a verification mail whether the user is verified or not email ID. And the last, like you can trigger the password, this one. And also you can send a reset password reset mail, so you can trigger a password reset mail. And then also you can delete the user, so you have to call a dot delete method. And first you need to collect the user as an object, and then we need to call delete method, and that's it. And here in maybe Firebase console, this is the authentication tab, and then we have a template section. So these all are the template section is triggering. So whenever you are sending a email verification mail, so this is a template. Here you can update this template, or you can send a password reset mail. So this is a template. Here you can change the template, no reply, and you can connect with your custom domain. Or third one is for the email address change, like you have requested to change your email address, so you just need to click on this url, and you can also customize this url. And then if you are working on SendGrid, for sending a transactional mail, then you can also add SMTP setting. Here you can pass like sender email address, SMTP port number, and then SendGrid username and SendGrid password, and then you have to pass the method like more. And then again, I have not mentioned like in this bootcamp I have talked about Google authentications and sign in and like email and password authentication. Also you can perform phone number authentications, like maybe you have to pass your mobile number and you will get the OTP. So you can do that. So you can just click on the enable, and then you just need to save and then follow the documentation. That's it. Also, you can log in with your Facebook account, Twitter account, GitHub account, Yahoo account, Microsoft, any other account, and anonymous also. And this is the authorized sections. Like you can authorize the domain. So right now I have authorized the domain. Is first one is for the localhost. So right now I'm testing in the localhost. And the second authorization domain is this one. This one is a by default domain for the hosting. So right now, and if you have already configured your custom domain, you can add your custom domain, and that's it. Okay, that's any other confusion, I think. Can we get whole code of yesterday? I have encountered the same problem. Yeah, I'll share the code. Maybe you can go to the GitHub, and then maybe here you can check Firebase authentications for the Google. So this is a code repo. Any other confusion? You just need to explore the documentation. Firebase documentation very easy, and like again, this is very good platform for the developers. You just need to focus on the front end part. Yeah, there are a lot of functions. You just need to call that functions, and that's it, based on your requirement. Like if you want to use authentication, so we have a set of functions for the authentication. Or if you want to trigger a data trigger or like add a data into the Firebase Firestore or real-time database, so there are again a set of functions that you need to trigger. That's it. So tomorrow I will talk about Cloud Firestore for storing a data. Like it's a NoSQL database which is look like as a MongoDB. Like if you have worked on MongoDB, we have a collections and then records and a lot of things. So if you want to check this code, so you can reload this page, and this is a so you can just need to go to the source code, view source code, and this is a code. You can check it now. Any other confusion? Okay, so that's it from my end. So thank you so much. And resources, I will share the video for the Firebase email and password. Maybe you can check, go to the tech comment, and then we have a playlist for email and password. You can check the video, this one, and this is a resources link for docs. And then you can go to the documentation again. Yeah, this is get started for the web. And then we have Firebase authentications, and then we have a web section. So this is the documentation. So I'll share the link, this one. So thank you so much once again. So see you tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll talk about Cloud Firestore. We'll deep dive into the Cloud Firestore, how we can add a data, how we can read the data from Cloud Firestore. And again, this is very easy rather than developing APIs and all. Thank you.